About Parenting with Shirlee Smith Classics. He's been president of the third largest community college in the nation. He currently is serving in the California State Assembly, and he has authored numerous bills that focus on the family. But most important, he is the father of 5 and grandfather of 8. Stay tuned and hear State Assemblyman, California State Assemblyman Jack Scott's philosophy on parenting.
You don't have to take a class to be one. There are no final exams. It's a full-time job, and then some. It pays less than minimum wage, and it can provide the greatest rewards in life. So let's talk about parenting with Shirlee Smith.
I'm Shirlee Smith, and this is Talk About Parenting. Today we're talking with our guest in the newsmaker category. Often you see people in the newspaper, you hear about their political campaigns, you hear about their stardom, you hear many things, but you often don't get to find out about their role as parent. Today's guest, California State Assemblyman Jack Scott, is here to talk about his parenting philosophy. We'll find out if he thinks the children ought to be running the state Senate, state assembly, or if they should also be running his household. Welcome, Jack.
Thank you, Shirley.
You think the kids ought to take over the house?
Well, I don't believe they should, and I've given a lot of thought to parenting philosophy. I've raised 5 children. I now have 8 grandchildren. My oldest child is 44, so I've been in the business quite a while, and I want to share with you just a little bit about what I think of parenting.
Please.
I guess it all begins with love, in my judgment, and I don't mean that in a trite way. I honestly believe that the first thing you need to communicate to your children is how much you love them, how much you care for them. I think a child needs a refuge when they're physically hurt or whenever they're, in many cases, emotionally hurt. And they need to feel like there's one place where they're deeply loved and deeply cared about. And I was very fortunate in my own home growing up. I felt that. I felt that my parents would often discipline me. I certainly didn't feel like I was in charge.
Did you ever hear that you're getting this because I love you?
Yeah, I can recall that. I'm not sure, as a small child, I always believed it, but nevertheless, I did hear it. And but I think overall, as I reflected on my parents, I felt like they deeply loved me, and I think it gave me a lot of confidence in life. I think I went through life because I'd received love. It gave me the capacity to give love to others. And I hope my children always realized how deeply I loved them and cared about them. But that didn't preclude discipline. I mean, clearly, to me, discipline is a part of love. It's not a matter of abusing a child. It's simply indicating to a child that there are boundaries. And hopefully, in all the years that we've lived our life, we have a little more wisdom than they do. And it's appropriate for us to say that this is what you can do and this is what you can't do.
I hear many parents nowadays, and your statement about we've lived a little longer, so we have a broader handle on what the bigger picture is. Many parents nowadays seem to want to share, not that knowledge, but they want to share the big picture and figure that their children have as much say as they do. Does your philosophy in any way sort of speak to any of that?
Well, it speaks to it in the sense that I think a good parent always listens. I don't think a good parent cuts off children. I think they want to hear the pain of a child, they want to hear the perspective of a child, but it's not an equal vote. I mean, they're more in an advisory capacity.
I like that.